And welcome back to Hannity. One of the nation's most iconic magazines has landed itself in hot water after putting an accused killer and a terrorist on its cover. Rolling Stone magazine released the cover of its latest issue revealing a glam shot of the sole surviving Boston Marathon bombing. Now, needless to say, critics around the country are blasting the magazine, questioning why the editors chose to honor such a monster. But the editors at Rolling Stones are not the only ones giving the terrorist a star treatment. Just last week, the bomber's supporters appeared outside the courtroom during his first federal court appearance in Boston. These so-called groupies held up signs saying "Justice for Jakar" and "Free Jakar," and they wore T-shirts with similar phrases. Pretty unbelievable. Joining me now with reaction, syndicated author, columnist, Fox News contributor Michelle Malkin. By the way, is this the same magazine that attacks a war hero, General McChrystal, but yet he gets the star treatment here? This is how we're going to treat this guy? A killer?
It sure is, and they really need to retitle this magazine because it's now Tiger Beat for terrorists and criminals and sociopaths. And I really wonder, I dread to know what's coming up next. Are they going to put Nidal Hassan with a thousands and thousands of word profile so that we can understand more deeply his humanity and complexity? I mean, I really just want to throw up, especially not just looking at the cover, but the actual article itself. Now, Rolling Stone is now trying to cover its backside and explained that really people need to appreciate that this article falls within the traditions of journalism. But after consuming the entire article, all I came to the conclusion of is that the author, as well as these editors, are as muddle-headed as ever about our war with Islam, and really this just serves the purposes of Al-Qaeda propagandists. That's what this piece does, and that's what the cover does, certainly.
You know, is even the article and the cover details what they do, how a popular, promising student was failed by his family, fell into radical Islam, and became a monster.
Yeah.
Are they making excuses for him and his friends? Well, I didn't know he was a radical Islamist, but when in fact there was evidence that he was moving in that direction.
Yeah, that's right. It's always all our fault. I think the other thing that I found wildly amusing was the explanation from the magazine that the reason why they put him on the cover that people really need to understand is that he's young and they wanted to appeal to other young readers. In other words, American youth, this accused Boston bomber who is accused of using pressure cookers that ended up killing many people, including an 8-year-old boy, is just like you. It's flabbergasting if you look at it on its face, and I think I'm very encouraged by the backlash because it's not just us racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic conservatives who are appalled by this. It's pretty much everyone in mainstream Hollywood, from bands like One Republic and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, many actors, including Ralph Macchio, yes, the Karate Kid, and Chris Evans, Captain America. And when you've got Captain America and the Karate Kid against you, you really should reassess yourself.
What do you think of the decision? There's a big Boston supermarket chain, Walgreens, Stop and Shop, CVS, all said, you know what? No, we're not going to sell this. I applaud their decision. Right. Your reaction?
Yes, a number of retail chains have decided that they're not going to carry the article because they have also seen what's gobsmackingly obvious, that this is glorifying an accused terrorist. And I think that's what people have to understand here. Separate and apart from this dimmy whitewashing article is the fact that anytime you put somebody on Rolling Stone, that is prime celebrity real estate. And it does nothing but celebrify people, including this accused terrorist. And this comes in the context, as you mentioned at the beginning, that you've got all of these free Jahar groupies who treat him as if he's the next Justin Bieber. What is wrong with these people? I diagnosed it last week. I said that there's a significant portion of America that has a sociopath fetish. And we really need to understand that it isn't our job just to educate people and inform them and put knowledge into their heads. We have to inculcate good values, decency, and humanity. And these have to trump things like getting eyeballs for your magazine.
What are your thoughts? Where are you now on the, we've talked a lot about the Zimmerman case. Where do you stand on it?
I'm very concerned. I understand that a lot of people want to tamp down the fact that there have been outbursts of violence and quote-unquote social unrest in places like Oakland and other urban areas, and they'd like to just look the other way and pretend that this is some sort of marginal reaction. But I think that a lot of the divisiveness that we're seeing ought to lie, the blame ought to lie at the feet of the White House, where we have racial grievance mongers led by President Obama and Eric Holder, who have a political interest, an ideological interest in making those divisions larger and not healing them. And you've got a lot of these demagogues, racial demagogues like Al Sharpton, who are now plotting even more unrest and fomenting agitation. And where are the leaders? You know, where are the true civil rights leaders? There are some brave black conservatives speaking up now. You've had Deneen Borelli on the show and others who are trying to get some sense into the black community on this, but you know, there's a sense that a lot of this is untethered, and I fear that.
All right, Michelle Malkin, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us. All right.